Wake up and be amazing. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are on earth today. My word of the year, my one word vision is enthusiasm. So I don't have to be here. I get to be here. It is a mindset. I want to remind you, I was not voted most likely to succeed in my senior class, but I was voted most spirited. And that continues today. And this year, I want to take it to the next level. Yesterday on our Momentum Monday call, I reminded every trailblazer on the call that if we don't share our mission, our vision, our purpose to age with awesomeness, to blaze trails that have never been there before, invite people to join us, we are leaving someone's future locked inside our mouth. And that cannot happen because a healthy revolution starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with all of us. Hey, do me a favor. I forgot my water. I guess I'll live. Hit hashtag live, hit hashtag replay to let me know that you're here, that you're watching. If you have a question, drop it down below, right? I will do my best to comment, to talk to you, to create a virtual conversation. I just got back. When did I get back? Sunday from Mexico City, which was an amazing experience. The connections, the culture, the fact that there were over 22 million people in the Mexico City area, and yet there was a calmness and an energy. It was just astounding to me. The beauty, the history makes you realize that the United States of America is really, really young. It's really, really young. While we were there, when we go from trailblazer to travel blazer, somebody who decides to join us on an experience, right? Traveling, whether it's within the United States or outside the United States. Last year, we did a travel blazer experience in Italy. We did one in Oklahoma City. We've now done one in 2024 already in Mexico City. Before I leave, I'll invite you to learn more about our next travel blazer experience, what we call the Idaho Chill Retreat. So be in Boise, Idaho. That's right. Not only connecting with a deeper bond and a connection, that's ultimately what it's all about. But Trailblazer Jessica said as we were having coffee, or maybe it was on one of the boats in the Chinaminacao. I'm sure I screwed up that. I'll try again, Ader. I'll try again. On the canals in Mexico City. Or maybe it was somewhere in La Condesa or Roma, or maybe it was at the cafe, or maybe it was at La Gruta, the cave, which was a restaurant where Jessica tried crickets. Wasn't her jam. I thought it was delicious. But the tagline that I wrote and have built for Travel Blazers is to discover the world, discover yourself. And Jessica said she did not truly understand what that meant until this trip. So that's available to you. I truly believe that. I know for a fact that we must have our health, our heart, our mindset right in order to absorb it and take it all in. We must have all of that to look at the world differently, to redesign fitness, because it is so much more than counting macros and so much more than doing squats and push-ups. It ultimately is about discovering your faith, who you are, and what you believe, and what legacy you want to leave in the world. Then yes, it's about your fitness, right? Physical, mental, and emotional fitness and spirit. It's about fellowship. It's about creating long-lasting, deep-seated, deep-rooted relationships with people who will be there for you. For example, so as I'm here live, Jessica, who lives in Oklahoma, has still not been able to return from Mexico City as her flights were canceled leaving Mexico City and going to Houston. So she eventually, after 24 hours, got to Houston. That was yesterday, it got canceled. We were blessed to have a nephew that lives in Houston. He was kind enough to pick Jessica up, take her to his house, let her take a shower, a nice bed, etc. And now she's on her way home to Oklahoma City. It's all part of the experience. Every time we got on the phone, every time we sent a text, she reminded me that I always say, coach and encourage you to control the controllable. When you travel, it's completely out of your control. How would you have handled that? Would you have lost your shit, which probably wouldn't have helped anybody? Or would you have stayed calm, found somebody to talk to, somebody to relate with, and somebody to help guide you when maybe you weren't thinking your best? Just a little bit. Look, I'll be coming back over and over. Every single retreat that we do, every single travel opportunity we do, builds stories. It makes us just more interesting people. So for example, Tanya are watching Dot and Abby again. We love long standing series with several seasons. So when we do decide to watch TV, we don't have to think about it. We love historical documentary type shows from West Wing to Downton Abbey, right? That are The Crown, that are set in real life situations and historical. Now, they may embellish them because it's pseudo fiction, right? But what it allows us to do is look up and research and find out things that we might not even have been alive for and we weren't taught in school. We absolutely love that. But in this episode we watched the other day, they mention Rome. And usually it's pretty passe. They mention some place. But now, anytime I read or I hear about Rome, it's going to conjure up memories about the 48 hours we spent last year in Rome. The next time the news, a story, a song mentions Mexico or Mexico City, I will have, and we will have, and the Trailblazers will have a new recollection about what Mexico means to us, what we saw in the culture, and that what we experienced in the beauty and the hustle culture that yet had a calmness to it, and ultimately filled our soul and spirit. But with that, for those that don't know, I was a public educator for a decade. I still teach every single day. A coach is just a teacher with a different classroom. That's it. So one of the things that I tell people every day, and this is going to be this week's podcast coming out soon, it's going to say, what sets your soul on fire? I'm going to say that again. What sets your soul on fire? Can you tell me? Drop it below. Have you thought about it? But whatever sets your soul on fire, do that. Do that. Do that. You don't have to be very good at it. That's the key. If you want to sing and it fills your soul with goodness, do it. You don't have to be Whitney Houston. If you want to play guitar and you're learning and you're not very good at it and you're not Jimi Hendrix, so what? Do it. If you want to write scary fiction and you're not as good as Stephen King or Dean Koontz, do it. If you want to be a writer, write. If you want to be a painter, paint. If you want to be a sommelier, get the training and figure it out, right? If you want to be a saison, which is beer version of a sommelier, learn how to do it. You want to craft beer or make wine, and maybe it tastes like crap, do it again, do it again, do it again. Get better, get better, get better. But until you put pen to paper, in my opinion, those are just wishes. So what do you want to do? So today I want to share a document with you that I would love to share with you at no cost. I believe every professional should provide intellectual content at some level for free every single day in order to make the world a better place. And I said earlier that if I don't share it, if the Trailblazers don't share it, if you don't come into our world and learn more about it at a deeper level, because we want to build relationships a foot wide and a mile deep, that we are keeping your future locked inside our mouths no more. It is time, and I've said this for years, and I don't think I really did it very well, but with the word enthusiasm, my one-word vision, it's time to take my whisper of redesigning fitness to a roar, to present, to talk, to be invited to come speak to your community. And it's not just about squats and push-ups, it's about the mindset. Because once you understand who you are emotionally, then you will seek the truth. But today I just want to kind of give a highlight, maybe a 10,000-foot view of a document I created. It's just called Mind, Body, Spirit, right? It's a roadmap to success. A roadmap to success. By this time, January 16th, 17th, most people who created New Year's resolutions have thrown them in the basket because they try to throw the baby out with the bathwater and make it harder than it has to be. And I completely believe that we make it way harder than it has to be. Keep it small, keep it simple, but think big. So let's put that in reverse. Think big, think small, or act small, right? So the Trailblazers, our Momentum Monday calls, are going to be reminded 52 times this year at a minimum to think in years, plan in months, live in days. So the very first thing we do every single day in our daily habit tracker is say, did you share a yay for the day? Something we do every single day. Did you live in a place of gratitude? It doesn't mean the day was perfect. It doesn't have to be any grand thing. But do you appreciate what you are, what you have? And maybe somebody said thank you. Maybe somebody held the door open for you. Maybe you slept better than you have before. Maybe you're grateful for the house you have on those cold winter days. Maybe your son or daughter called you, they hadn't called you a long time, and say, Mom, I love you. Or maybe you got your first paying client in your new coaching gig, and that's a big yay. But life is not linear. It doesn't just go in a straight line. It's going to go, it's going to throat punch you, and you got to get up and you got to come back. But even then, something positive happened that day. My dad would have said every time he called, hey, this is your dad, like I didn't know. And every time he would say, look at the door, the day the Lord has made. And maybe that was the seed for gratitude, and he didn't even know he was doing it, right? So I hope you're still here. I hope you're listening. I don't give a shit about the algorithm to say that you're only going to watch 3 seconds of a video, because I know that somebody out there, somebody's lurking in the background that needs the encouragement, that needs the positivity. And I will tell you, maybe the most important thing that happens when you go deeper from watching me and listening to me perhaps, or seeing me speak at an event on my personal fitness page, Dane Boyle page, or Dane Boyle coaching page, or Dane Boyle coaching Instagram or TikTok or whatever, then moving into the Age with Awesomeness community, which is just free content at a deeper level with more opportunity to connect, and then really stepping in to the trailblazers. The one thing I can guarantee you is you'll have more enthusiasm, you'll have more positivity, you'll have a higher level of spirit and gratitude than you ever had before, regardless of everything that you're going to learn. And I was a teacher first, and I'll be a teacher when I die. So I want to educate you, motivate you, and empower you. Maybe that sounds superfluous, right? So you're not really sure what that means, but education is basically a recipe. They are the tools to succeed. I want to help you. I want you to fill your toolbox with tools you'll use every day. I want to then have you determine what should be in that's your tool belt. Then what should be in your toolbox? Things that you use a little bit, and then things you lose every once in a while, that's your tool shed. Your tool belt are tools that you're going to use every single day. They should be the best quality tools you'll ever buy. And the biggest buy you'll ever have is when you invest in yourself. Your toolbox are things you're going to use periodically that you need at your disposal. And the tool shed are things you might use every now and then. It's just nice to have. All right, my friends, I'm going to hit present. I'm going to try to share my screen. I kind of hope you can see it. So this is the actual download that you would be able to get to help guide you as the year goes on, because many of us have ideas on what we want and where we want to go. We're not really sure how to get there. Again, this is yours for free. I would love to help you go through it. But if you can do it on your own, or you want to do it on your own, please do it. If you have a friend and a loved one that you want to live their best life and see the future and begin to live it now, share it. The link should be somewhere up or down. I'm not sure what direction it is. Right? So if you had a crystal ball, I used to ask this all the time when I was talking to people. I'm asking them to join something that I'm coaching, doing, or leading. I would say, grab your crystal ball, seriously, with both hands. And I want you to look deeply into that crystal ball. And I want you to begin to see your future. Would you be more fit? Would you be healthier? Would you be more energized? Can you check something off your bucket list? Like last year, the 2 girls that went with us, Jackie and Suzanne, they both had wanted to either experience Italy first or go back to Italy at a different time in their life. And they checked it off their bucket list. One of the former trailblazers today that I've worked with for years, long before it was any of the things I was doing. I was running the wellness center. That was the last time I was there was 2014, so a decade ago. And we'd been working, said he wanted to quit his job, not be a long haul trucker. And today he told me he did it. So he checked something off his bucket list. Do you want to have more fun? The foundation of the Trailblazer Nation is faith, fitness, fellowship, and fun. What brings you joy? But the most important thing we can do is determine how we feel, and we control how we feel. So it just seems, whether it's the first of the year, the first of the month, a Monday, those are perfect opportunities, right? To look and examine where you are and where you want to go. One of my coaching friends came out, Alex Sharfin, said, we want to go so far in the future that we begin to live it now. That's what I call a vivid vision. And this is where it all starts, right? The vivid vision to find your balance. And I will tell you, I hear this all the time. I want to find life balance. I don't think that exists. Imagine a teeter totter, a seesaw, right? I think they might have even taken these out of elementary schools, which is so sad because I love them, right? We wanted to get two people with their feet off the ground and completely find balance. But I think in life, it goes up and down, it ebbs and flows. You can also think of it as a pendulum where it goes back and forth, left to right, right to left. I think there are times when your family is going to need you and you need to be there to support them. I think there are times when your work, your job, what you do for a living, what you're called to do for a living, or what you're doing to put food on the table is going to take an inordinate amount of time. And what that pendulum has to do, or the teeter totter has to do, is you have to be aware enough to make sure when the family calls and needs you, that you know when it's time to let go for a moment and go back to take care of a job because it's there. Or when you have a big project to do and you take a lot of time to do it, but your family's sitting over here, you've got to know when to say adios, goodbye, and you've got to come back to make sure your family's waiting for you. And this document is going to allow you to do that, to set your goals, identify the parts of your life that need attention and care, just like I talked about. And how well are you doing? Every single month, the Trailblazers get a progress plan and they grade themselves A through F, right? And it's going to be in their health, nutrition, happiness, right? Those are the three basic pieces of it. And it's subjective. And if they gave themselves a C, we're probably not going to go in 30 days and get to A. We go for a C minus to a C to a C plus. So that they can try to create that balance. And it's going to go back and forth. Then we can also document, and then we can also make notes, right? That say, hey, this is why I felt so good. This is what happened to me that made me feel like crap this month and how I can overcome it. On our Momentum Monday calls, the very first thing we do is share something that went well between the last call, right? Although we have good intentions, right? We all want to live in bliss. Who doesn't want to find the oasis, right? Who doesn't want to find that? But are we struggling in some form of health and wellness? There are 7 elements of wellness, which we call E squared, IOP squared. 7 elements of health and wellness, E squared, IOP squared. Emotional, environmental, that's your E2. IOP, intellectual, occupational, physical health. Social and spiritual, S2. We purposely have put emotional and spiritual health on opposite ends because all those things you do in the middle, right? Your environment, your intellect, your occupation, your physical health, and your social health will make or help you find your emotional and spiritual health. But when you try to have it all, we find that there's that unbalance, right? That you're tipping the scale. And maybe we don't have perfect balance in health and wellness, relationships, again, environment, career, or finances, your spirituality, right? And it's all laid out here. So what does that look like? Instead of feeling fulfilled, you feel overwhelmed. Well, we want to take some of that, find a full plate approach of goods and to-dos, right? Goods and to-dos. I got to stop real quick. If you look at this top picture, this was actually in the canals on the boat. And I just asked Jessica to come on up and do a one-on-one. And what an amazing spiritual moment that neither of us will ever forget. These are the type of moments that we get to create when we work on our health, wellness, relationships, surroundings, spirituality, fun, social life, right? What does that look like? But it's not at our local coffee shop, and nothing wrong with that. And Jessica and I actually went for a couple hours, ordered our coffee in Spanish, and sat at the coffee shop. And because it was in an area called La Condesa y Roma, there was not only English and Spanish, but a variety of languages, and it was pretty freaking amazing. What is a new way, right? We talk about fitness redesign. So that mind, body, spirit, right? So this Venn diagram, right? It kind of happens in the middle. In the middle where all 3 of these zones meet, that's where success happens. That's where joy happens. That is where your spirit, your emotion, and the fact that you'll get up each day like a child on Christmas morning will happen. right? So what do you need with your physical body? What resources with your mind? When we're talking your career, what about exercise? I believe that movement is the fountain of youth. You don't have to do a damn burpee the rest of your life if that's not what you want to do, depending on what your goals are. The first goal we have, or I have for you as a health, fitness, life coach, is to reduce your medication dependency. For you, and I'm not a doctor, so I'll never tell you not to take your meds, but to get you to the point where you can take less of them. It's also to ensure that you can do what you want as long as you want without thinking about your physical body. There comes a time when running to first base no longer freaking matters. For us, that matters is you go to a place like Mexico. We walk 8 to 10 miles every single day because we're just examining the world, and we get up the next day and the next day and nobody's so sore, so tired, so exhausted, they can't do it. Or we go to Italy for a retreat for 7 days coming up this April. And the Italian treadmill is the community. It's going to be Florence. It's going to be Siena. It's going to be San Geronimo. Geronimo. I always get those wrong, right? I'm still working on the pronunciation. But we're going to see the world because we have our physical health. Because we have body and a mind and a spirit that wants to grow, that wants to dream. So with this tool that is at your disposal on me, because I want to help make the world a better place. I want to help I say I, but it's not about me. It's about the collective. Ultimately, I was talking to Trailblazer Diana yesterday. I said, Diana, if you really pull the onion back about what my soul tells me I'm meant to do in this world, is to ensure that everybody has an opportunity to live independent and healthy for a lifetime. And you need your body, your mind, and your spirit. So the challenge here in the notebook, right, is not just to do it with your head, but to do it with your heart. See what you're good at first. When you see what you're good at with your physical health, your mental health, and your spirit, it's going to lift you up to a level. Because one of the reasons that I ask and was taught, I don't know about Mental Monday calls or actually any one-on-one call or group coaching call, what's going well, it is easy to tell us what sucks about our life and our job. It is a mindset flip. It's like having your light switch instead of going from the bottom to the top, from the top to the bottom, and the light coming on. You're like, what the hell? But every day with the attitude of gratitude, you look at, how am I taking care of my body? Bam, I am doing this. I'm drinking some water, better than none. I'm walking some, it's better than none. Right? What does that look like? I'm reading a little bit, better than none. Right? What does your spirit feel like? What are you doing? How are you feeling it? One of the reasons after reading the Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning, where he teaches lifesavers, right? Silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. And he tries to help you wake up 60 minutes before you walk out the door in the morning so your hair is not on fire. I didn't even have any damn hair, but it would be on fire if I just jumped out of bed, grabbed a power bar and a coffee. And I've been there and I've done that. And I'm sure many of you have been there and are still there. But what if you did 1 minute of each of those, sat in silence, had a positive affirmation, visualize your day, exercise, stretch a little bit, right? Read for 1 minute, and then scribe, so journal what you're thinking. And then do that for a week. And then maybe in the next week, it's 2 minutes of each. Boom, 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 boom. In a matter of less than 90 days, you'd be up to that full hour, creating the life you love and dreaming. And that's where I am today. But remember, when I tell you what I'm doing, or you hear what Bob is doing, or Stacy's doing, or Jessica's doing, or Christy's doing, or Isabella's doing, or any Daisy or Ginny, or any of the trailblazers, never compare your chapter 1 to their chapter 10. So how do you find your balance with body, mind, and spirit? Right? What would your life look like if you found focus on your work? What if you, even if you want to change your job, what if you took the time to say, I love getting paid. I love having health benefit insurance. I love the fact that I know what time I go in. I know what time I get off. I have a body that allows me to love every day. That doesn't mean it can't be healthier, right? But What are ways that you can spark that joy, that balance, that love, that energy that you want, that you crave, that you've had and you've lost? Many of us, especially this time of year, join gyms and then we don't go. Many of us have books on our nightstand that we started to read, we didn't read. Many of us bought a cookbook because it's going to make better, healthier food. There's no such thing as clean eating unless you're eating dirt. It's just a healthier version of eating. But you bought that cookbook and you never really opened it up. You bought that new pair of running shoes, but you never really ran, right? But what if you find a way of meditating that works for you? I don't sit there in the morning by my Christmas tree that we keep up 24/7, 365 and go, that might work for you. But I usually have my coffee in my hand, either my puppy or the cat sitting next to me, sitting on the love seat by the Christmas tree and quietly talk to my dad and ask for guidance. I have started a journal on and off for years. Many of our trailblazers have books and books and books and books and shelves of journaling that oftentimes they share. It's pretty freaking awesome. We challenge every trailblazer to either read 10 pages or listen to 10 minutes of a book every day for personal growth. If you're not currently exercising, what if you open your front door? It's cold in my world today. Get your beanie on, get your jacket on, and you go for a walk. Go 10 houses or go for 10 minutes, whatever you want to do. And you know what? Do it again and again and again. And then you might be like Trailblazer Chris, who's at about 160 days of rucking at least a mile, or Trailblazer Jenny, who's at 250 plus days of rucking at least a mile. But you know what? They started with one action and one day. We're going to talk about trying to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep every day because that's where your body heals and grows. We're going to talk about digital detoxes, and it sounds overwhelming, I think, but what we do is we pick one thing, we go after that, and we've locked that in, we go for the next one. Think big, start small. You want to do Tai Chi? Do it. Create an energy, create a Zen that works for you. That works for you. 1 to 3 simple action steps to set yourself up for failure, sure. For success, and try not to set yourself up for failure. Even that, like, right? So I could be, oh crap, I screwed up the whole video. No, I'm human. I make mistakes. I've actually stepped in dog shit before. You know what I did? I went, I wiped it off and I kept on walking because I had somewhere to go. If you're not sure what SMART goals are, specific, measurable, this is achievable. I often say attainable. They go back and forth. They're the same, relevant, and time bound. Because without a timestamp, right? They're just a wish. But then we're going to talk about not just setting goals, but having an identity of that person that understands what they want to do with their body, what they want to do with their mind, what they want to do with their spirit, making action so they identify as that person. I am a person that understands the value of my physical being. I am a person that understands the value of my mindset, of my spirit, and I identify them. If you want to be a writer, like I talked about before, then identify and start to write. You want to play guitar, then be a musician. You want to be a reader, then begin to read. It's different. It's an identity-based goals. But be specific. I want to improve my ability to focus by not mindlessly scrolling on media during the day. Okay, then how do you do it? What do you do? What is the next step to do? And I always encourage you to look at what can you do today? What actionable step can you today? Can you measure it? So I'm very blessed. I get messages all the time, but I put my phone on do not disturb at 7 p.m. Monday through Friday on purpose so that I can put the phone down, be present when Tanya and I eat or make dinner, so that the people in front of me get the best of me and not the rest of me. I'm going to say that again. So the people around me get the best of me, not the rest of me. That's also been learned. Listen to this week's episode of Turn Positivity into Possibility, episode 272. Where do we go from here? And you'll hear Chris talk about that. His family was getting the rest of him and not the best of him. When we say make your goals achievable, that is true. I do want timestamps, but I will challenge you when you think in years, what is something that you will not achieve till 365 plus days? Right at that moment, this year is 366, you get a bonus day, right? You get a bonus day. If your doctor tells you that you are overweight, That's not your goal. It might be true, but you have to want it and make it your goal and own it. And that's why the first thing I believe we all need to work on is our mindset first. You can look at the recipe and you can get a fitness plan, right? You get a wellness plan, you can get a diet plan. But until you identify as a person that does physical fitness and that's part of their life, until you identify as a person that eats a healthier diet and makes better choices and eats food in the least processed way, it's not your goal. It's somebody else's. Just like if you have a loved one that wants to regain their health or wants to travel or wants to write a song, whatever, right? That they've said that to you and you've asked them, you cannot do the work for them. You can just guide them. That's exactly what all of us do as coaches. We just guide you. That's it. That's it. But create that time frame, right? When we talked about social media, so for example, I'm on a lot of social media, but I'm trying, and it's a work in progress, to set timestamps throughout the day where I post content, where I share content, where I comment on content. 30 minutes before noon, 30 minutes afternoon, and let it go. That's it. And make that a habit so that I can be present with the clients, which we call trailblazers, right? Future clients and discovery calls, right? Planning retreats, right? All the things that I think take it to the next level. Now, those are just examples, right? But they're not yours. The idea is for you to click on the link, download a copy, begin the work, need help, need more guidance, ask me, reach out to me, and let's figure out how we can do it. For example, so in Mexico City, we got back from the canals, right? And the girls were going to go up to their room and they were going to rest, take a nap, whatever. And Ader asked me, he said, hey, can I get a little bit of your time? So we walk down the street, we sit at a cantina, we get a drink, we start talking. I said, hang on, Ader, I need to shoot a quick video. And I'm like, da 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 da. And I sent it out. And it was questions to ponder, to think about, so that when we did our one-on-ones or our group coaching at the retreat, we could all talk. Well, Jessica, I don't know, she messaged me back maybe 30 minutes later. Hey, I'd like some more guidance. I'd like some more clarity on what you asked. And I said, are you napping? What are you doing? She goes, well, I'm laying here, I'm resting, but I'm not sleeping. I said, if you want, I can come back to the house and I'll be there in 5 minutes and we can do a one-on-one. That's exactly what we did. It was just the two gringos, and a gringo and a gringa. And we went to the coffee shop and ordered in Spanish. And that'll also be something that we remember. Even if there was a little bit of miscommunication, we paused for a moment. I let the kind of old school Rolodex process. Okay, this is the word I'm looking for. And the coffees came out great. So if you were here at the beginning, thank you. If you joined us in the middle, please go back and watch the beginning. If you're here at the end, thank you. Because every trailblazer and future trailblazer and current trailblazer is going to begin to share their story. Because collectively, we know that if we don't share our dreams, our hopes of a more positive world, it would ignite life and spark a healthy revolution for all of us that are born between 65 and 80, that don't want to sit and bitch about the kids today, that want to live our best lives, that want to go from success to significance. We must speak to speak. We must turn positivity up so loud it quiets down all the negativity in the world. Because if we don't, we're leaving your future locked inside our mouths. So please click. There's no obligation to do anything but click and read, and that I hope you'll do the work. And please reach out to me through a DM or here in the comments below if you want a little help or guidance. And that's where it starts. That's where it starts. All right, you're going to hear over the next several days. We're going to sell this son bitch out. We never have more at this point than 12 people at our retreats. Why? I figured if Jesus could walk with 12, so can we. In reality, it's so that everybody gets attention. Everybody gets to build a bond and a close-knit relationship. I understand that almost everybody that listens has the opportunity to go visit at least the next town over. But what they don't get to do is do it away from their hometown where they're not necessarily worrying about work, the kids, their parents, and all the other obligations. When you get on a plane, you get in a car, and you commit 3, 4, 5, 7 days to your personal health, your mind, Your body, your spirit, your relationship with yourself will grow, and the bonds between us will grow too. Now, this retreat in Boise, February 22nd through 25th, is with my dear friend and inspirator coach, Aaron, who lives in Boise. And now here are some of the activities we're going to do, but together we're going to build, we're going to have conversations. And oftentimes it's the conversation after the conversation that's the most important. So if Aaron and I plant a seed asking X, and we start to talk, and then we start to talk as a group, and then you hear Bob, or you hear Isabella, or you hear Jessica, or you hear Diana say something, then when you go alone and the two of you or the three of you begin to have the conversation, that's where the ultimate growth happens. That's where the bonds happen. But Aaron sent me a message today, said it snowed like crazy in this Arctic front as we are here live, right, on January 16th, which is going to make the hike about a mile hike to the hot springs. Amazing. Imagine being bundled up and getting in your trunks, your bathing suit, and sitting in hot springs. I wish maybe for the next 6 weeks, I'm going to actually talk to Tanya. I'll grow a big ass beard and there'll be snow, frost, ice, like Andy Reid's mustache in Kansas City at the football game right there because of the steam coming off. Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. We're going to learn to snowshoe. I don't know how to do it. And I might be cold. I'll take a jacket. It's only a few days. We're going to sit around a bonfire. Somebody's going to play guitar. We're going to sing some songs. We're going to let our figurative hair down for those who don't have it. And oh my God, we're going to have stories to tell. And you know, somebody asked today, why Boise? Because we are choosing to do it differently. We are choosing to do it differently. And we don't have to go to the most common places. We can pick other places. Bob, I'm sorry I didn't say hello earlier. So why not Boise? Plus Erin lives there and she can guide us. February 22nd through 25th. Any interest at all, any thought, just drop Idaho in the comments, DM me. Let's get on a non-obligatory call and let's sell that sumbitch out. Let's tell the world there are 12 people in the world that want to work on their mind, body, and spirit and are willing to invest in themselves. Because I truly believe, and I told you at the beginning, Trailblazer Jessica completely gets it. Because now she's a trailblazer and she went from Central America, completely different context if you say that in Mexico, so the center part of the United States, to Mexico, and what she thought and her preconceived notions about the country, the people, and how it just like a flower, boom, boom, get enthusiastic. My word is enthusiasm. This is going to be the best retreat we ever put on. Every single one is going to get better than the last one. Why? Because we learn. Because the people that come back, we build deeper relationships. The people that come back want you to experience the same thing they did at the next level and make it epic with a capital E, a capital P, a capital I, a capital Z, exclamation point, infinity and beyond. All right, beautiful people. Actually, I have two things today. Remind you, drop Idaho, let's talk. There's lots of things. Well, I said two, there's really four. Idaho, let's talk. February 22nd through 25th. It is going to be epic. Click the link. I believe it's above. Download your roadmap. Do the work. Reach out to me to either share it or work together, right? Collaboratively to get it done, to set the wheels in motion, to identify yourself as somebody who takes action, right? Right. Now, the last two things, literally, they take hardly any time out of your day and they will make the biggest difference in your life and the receiver's life. Text somebody today and tell them you're thinking of them and expect nothing in return. 2, tell those you love them and never assume they know. All right, my friends, until next time, go be amazing. Remember, you are the director of your world. Adios.